Hello and welcome to This or That with Kobe and Jatt. Back for another remote episode.
It's good to see you, Kobe. I know you had some ISP issues on the weekend. I hope those are resolved for next weekend because I missed you.
I'm a little bit disappointed your dog is not here. This stuffed animal is not quite doing it for me.
I mean, he's just like KUBO is a living stuffed animal, so I figured it would be close.
True. Okay. We'll get that fixed for next one, please. Yeah. It helps me operate better when KUBO is here. Let's get to the slides. Number 1, casting from home. Pants or no pants? I've seen this discussed a lot.
I mean, I'm wearing pants. Just so people know. Like, it's tempting to not wear pants. Are you wearing pants, Kobe?
Raise your leg.
There we go. Okay, what's that? Well, my mic needs to come out. They're just normal jeans. Just like a work day. It's a working from home tip. Dress like you're gonna go to work.
Good pants.
It lets you start the day in a normal way. But it's good. People needed to know. There's been a lot of debate.
Solved for now. Let's go to the next slide. More likely, Team Liquid do make playoffs. They have a rough schedule, remember? Or Team Liquid miss.
So currently, Team Liquid is 7-9. And they play FlyQuest and 9. And they're a game out of playoffs. So there's a lot of factors working against them. I actually think that that is more likely that they miss playoffs, which is just absurd for me to say, but I think it's true.
It is pretty crazy. I think I'm probably looking at 100 Thieves as the gatekeeper. Because they're right above them. 100 Thieves have CLG and like TSM or something like that.
Okay.
So it's a little bit rough.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me. I haven't let go of my Team Liquid stocks.
Yeah, I'm not willing to say that Team Liquid will miss playoffs until they're actually mathematically eliminated, just because they're a 4-time champ. You just don't expect it to happen. But if you're asking me which one is more likely, because they're a game out and their schedule's hard, it would make sense, right?
I can't do it. I'm going this.
Okay, fine. You do you. Let's get to the next one.
Next slide. They are playing TSM, by the way. I just looked it up. Those are the bonuses of doing an at-home edition of
you get to search. You're not on stage.
Correct. Better top laner, Kalista top or Vayne top? For me, it is Kalista top. I have had too many Vayne tops in solo queue, and they always fail me. But I have never had a Kalista top fail me, because guess who the only Kalista top I've ever played with is? Is Hooney 2 years ago.
That was like a stage game, right?
No, it was in solo queue. I got to queue with their whole team.
Oh, wow.
Because Rainover wasn't there. It was their Immortals year.
You just subbed in. That's a fun little fact. I think the better top laner is Kalista, but I think the question also is how good are you? Because part of me thinks Kalista top is harder than Vayne top. So like maybe from silver or gold and below, Vayne would be easier because the game is more likely to go late and Vayne has better scaling, whereas Kalista has to snowball. There's some depth to this question, but I'm going to say this because this is an LCS show.
Okay, so we're aligned. Next slide. Second best team in the LCS, TSM, FlyQuest, Evil Geniuses. These are our top 4, them with Cloud9. And it goes without saying that Cloud9 is number 1.
Yeah, Cloud9's number 1. These are all the teams that are tied at 9 and 7. TSM was kind of the unanimous second best team before week 8, but Evil Geniuses is now on a 5-game win streak. I feel like people haven't even mentioned FlyQuest for 2 weeks because they were I think 8 and 4 before moving to 9 and 7 right now. So I think it's not that, it's between the other thing and this. And I said this on my podcast JLXP last night, it's TSM. I think Evil Geniuses is on the win streak, but if I'm looking into a best of 5, like who is actually the second best, I think TSM still has a higher ceiling.
Classic TSM Jatt coming out.
Well, what are you saying, Kobe?
We on the dive did talk about FlyQuest, and we on the dive did pretty much agree with you that we're looking more at EG and TSM. Since you're going TSM, I think it's so close that I am going to go EG.
Okay.
It is recency bias, right? I can't deny that a lot of it is because of the 5-game win streak, but they look so good. They look so good recently, right?
They do.
Zuke playing his champions like Ryze, Echo, side laning. Their Sven Skaren seems to be looking so much better as well. I thought that in the first game last weekend, I almost gave my vote for player of the week to Svenskeren because I thought you set them up so well. I think this team has really just finally come together and really been able to focus a lot more on how to play out their composition. There's no more of that, 4 people setting up in one area of the map and 2 people somewhere else. That's 6 people, and now you've got an extra person on your team. Next slide.
Yeah. All right. This. You do the other thing. I did this.
Yeah, I'm going with the other thing for that one. This slide is better item. These are 2 of the buffed items for top lane, or aimed at top lane at least, Ravenous Hydra and Blade of the Ruin King.
I am going to say, based on what I've seen people actually switch their builds and just stick with, that it's going to be Blade of the Ruin King. So Ravenous Hydra obviously has some benefits in the fact that you get the early Tiamat and you can get more wave clear pressure. But I just think that 12% current health for melee champions, especially if you're on someone who can then do other types of execute damage or percent health max damage elsewhere in your kit, it works so well together. And I think that's why we're seeing everyone gravitating towards Blade of the Ruin King. Getting someone to half health super quickly, whether that's to set up for a gank to come in or to set up with the rest of your abilities, just seems stronger than the wave push from the Hydra.
Yeah, I think the Blade of the Ruin King is so strong. I heard a lot of critiques for the builds, but the damage that you get, even on just an extra 150 health, is going to be 3 more on-hit damage for every time. So think about how much health the champions that you have are actually going after. For a long time, this item has tremendous value. And like you're talking about, getting people down, it's really good for 1v1s especially. So I think there's a lot of situations it's great in. I have been playing some Parnelli X Warwick where you go full AD and
you Bork? Because you told me you're doing Ravenous Hydra. Have you switched to Bork?
Ravenous Hydra though.
Did you do both?
And that's super fun. I don't do both. I would still say that the better overall item is Blade of the Ruin King coming out from those buffs. But Ravenous Hydra is amazing for junglers. So if you're a jungler, maybe that Ravenous is better for you because you can easily clear some camps that you couldn't before, like Raptor Shrugs.
Yeah. So we can get to the next slide, but I'm going to tell you, I tried your Blade of the Ruin King Trundle. I did a lot of damage, and then I lost because I was super squishy. I needed help.
Did you go tank after?
I tried. It was over. Pork's expensive, dude.
Better substitute. It's getting a little blurry for me, but I think this is Acadian for Grig and then Solo for Viper.
Neither of these actually looked great with the way that they came into the league. I think a lot of people were just saying Acadian looked better when he subbed in for Grig, but Dignitas's win-loss hasn't necessarily reflected a higher win percentage. And Solo for Viper was 1-1.
I think that they both looked pretty good, actually.
As a meaningful upgrade?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually think that Acadian was the best part of Dig in a couple of the games where he subbed in. I think he is an upgrade over Grig. And Solo, even on their second game, there's a lot of stuff wrong with that second game. Okay, so
just like throw that one out. Just
exactly.
Put that one over there.
Even though it's so early, our sample size is low, you can still recognize that there are outliers even early on in your sample because of all the level ones, all the craziness that went on in that game. But I do have faith in him as a player, so I think that they are both pretty meaningful upgrades. I'll go with Acadian.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll say this as well.
Yeah, even though the win-losses aren't looking good, I think Acadian has. Next slide.
Or you could put Grig back in. You never know. Like maybe it. No, they're staying with Acadian for the rest of the year, I think.
There's the TSM Jatt again. You just keep switching those 2 junglers around. Where is Spica when you need him?
They just got to get Spica in there. I feel like that's the future.
All right. First clear without buff. I believe that. You guys are discussing this.
Yeah. So this is a question. It all happened because someone got 3 buffed and didn't fall behind on experience. And doing your first clear without blue or red buff, I actually think is viable. You can do an early recall. You can pick up your second component of your jungle item, which means you get to stay at full health, and you can still make it to a scuttle crab if you're not going to duel a guy. It's not an every game thing, but I think it's viable to get more experience.
Definitely viable. Optimal.
That's the question.
It's
It's this.
That is the question, so it's viable. My general philosophy is like, as long as you're creating value in some way as a jungler, anything that you come up with is viable, right? As long as you're judging the values as kind of a power curve over the time spent for the game, and like you're saying, this one is not a lot of lost value because you can have a quicker respawning of those camps and get to your buffs afterwards. So definitely viable. You got to take a magnifying glass to see when you want to actually do it. Let's go next slide.
Yeah, we had 10 slides today. I don't remember which one we're on.
We're going rapid fire.
Yeah, we're going through it.
We actually had a lot of tangents, so maybe it's slowing down our average time. But would CLG have made playoffs if they started with POB? Another question from the cast.
I think so. This was also a question I tried to answer in depth. I have been saying yes, but I also look at their record with Pobelter, and it doesn't look pretty.
You've been saying yes.
Yeah, but I'm thinking I might have been spreading some misinformation there with this, because they act like they've looked better. Pobelter has looked individually good, and they lose. That just seems like every game, aside from the 2 that they won. What are they now? 2-6, 2-7 with Pobelter, something like that?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. When I was listening, that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say no. I'm sorry. It's that. I just feel like the rest of CLG has too many issues.
All right, I'm glad you're correcting. Yeah. You know, you can recognize.
Life is all about, figuring out what you said that wasn't accurate and fixing it later. That's what I've learned.
All right, next slide. Mystery number 7. I'm gonna say, does playing LCS at home change your play style? I love the pictures that they have here of the
huddle, Kobe. Huddle up. Yeah. I actually flamed Papa Smithy for not having his webcam on. Apparently, he's corrected me and said that they were sold out on Amazon. So I'm going to give him a pass on this one. I think it's such a difficult question in terms of change play styles. I'm going to say no, it doesn't change play styles, because generally the players are going to be the same, but it's got to feel different and it's going to affect the way they play. I just don't know how, and it's going to depend on the player and team.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discussion that's been around. Are we going to see Scrim Gods take to success now that the LCS is played from home, or how is your situation going to be different? I do think it's going to be slightly different, but I think, yeah, your keyword of play styles there, you're still hoping, even in scrims, you're hoping to practice that play style. Whether or not that plays out. We had a couple of games that didn't seem like they had a specific style.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a style change. It just felt like a
But I'll say
change.
In general no as well. Next slide.
This is going to be the last one. Hey!
There's my KUBO. Let's go.
Hey, buddy. So, analyst, this is from KUBO Calls It, from when he was a pupper, versus personal trainer. Honestly, he looks buff in the personal trainer video. This is the only thing that I've realized since this is released.
And he's
I'm
going to
say,
too.
Yeah, and like the input you have to do, I have to give him food to be an analyst. Personal trainer KUBO, he helps me with my own games. So it is clearly that.
Okay. Well, personally, little baby KUBO has a special place in my heart. So I'm going to go with Pupper KUBO, the original analyst.
Way to be a contrarian, Kobe.
And that is going to be the end of it. That was slide number 10. Surprise!
Hey!
We didn't count too well, but we will be back next week for more attempts at counting the slides and answering them. Please tune into the LCS this weekend, 2 p.m. on Saturday as usual. Thank you so much for joining us.